This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Battery Day. Today we are out at Interstate Batteries, All Battery Center in Peoria on 91st Avenue, about halfway between Northern and Olive Street. So we've got fry bread, we've got a jump house, and we've got the Peoria Fire Department out here doing a child safety seat check. You know, and you find out that a lot of child safety seats are not installed right, almost the full majority of them. Anyhow, on Bumper to Bumper Radio, we are helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. If you got car questions, we've got car answers, so you can still get a hold of us at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, batteries, and more batteries. If you think you need a battery, today's the day to buy it. There's 20% off, I think, on batteries today. Come on down, we'll get you out of here, and you get some fry bread at the same time where they put a battery in your car.
Well, it's not just fry bread, Dave. I mean, it's the whole deal, the whole fry bread taco, all the
fixins,
and
get the child safety seat checked. So today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we're doing the battery thing, but we've got the Peoria Fire Department out here, and we've got Tim Iden.
That's right. Good morning.
Iden from Peoria Fire Department, and he's got a lot of interesting information about child safety seats that I had no idea. How many are installed wrong?
You know, the nationwide statistic is 80%. Here in Arizona, we've had events where the statistic is as high as 94%.
Now, you have your own little notepad, and you're keeping notes of all the seats you check that are actually installed right, and you can count them on how many hands?
Yeah, hands and feet almost. So I've been doing this for 8 years. I do a lot of car seats. I'm over 3,000 at this point. And every time somebody comes, everything's perfect. I don't touch the seat. I shake their hand. I send them on their way. I go back to my office, and I make a little check on a sheet. I got 38 checks out of 3,000. Everybody else I made just a little bit safer.
Hold on. If you're listening to this right now and you got a child in a child safety seat, you need to get on down here because chances are you're assuming you know it's installed right. But, I mean, one of the things you mentioned is, you know, forward-facing versus rear-facing. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, you know, the law in the state of Arizona is age 1. And so there's a lot of confusion as to when do I turn my child from rear-facing to forward-facing, and it's maybe the most important decision a parent can make. Yeah. When you go to your pediatrician on the first birthday, you know, that first-year pediatrician visit, they're supposed to tell you, please keep your child rear-facing until age 2. And it's so important. The longer you keep your child rear-facing, the safer they are. As soon as you turn your child forward-facing, their neck becomes involved in the crash. And, you know, adults get whiplash in a crash. Can you imagine what happens to a giant baby's head with that little itty-bitty baby neck?
Yeah, their muscles aren't developed. And that's interesting too. And I actually have 2 of my girls here with me today, and they're out of car seats now. But not just car seats. I mean, take a look in your car. You know, I mean, if you've got a car seat or even a booster seat for that matter, they all need to be installed right. And I was shocked to find out what the rules are even regarding the booster seats that my kids hate to ride in. You know, they don't even want to see their friends see them in a booster seat because it makes them, even at 4th grade, think they're a baby or something. But the booster seat is as important because of the seatbelt on the neck. I thought it had something to do with weight, but that has nothing to do with it at all, right?
It's part of the problem. There's a lot of confusion out there in the public. You know, there are laws, and then there are what's safest. Arizona used to have a law that at 5 you can put your kid in a regular seatbelt, and that's changed. Thank goodness Arizona passed a law that said a child has to be in a booster seat until age 8. We're now in line with much of the rest of the country. But regardless of the age, really what matters is the child's height. A child is supposed to be 4 feet 9 inches tall before they get out of a booster seat. A child that's shorter than 4 feet 9 inches tall, that seatbelt won't fit on them properly. And if you've got a kid, peek in the back seat, and if you see that seatbelt rubbing up on their neck, you know, a lot of times they're uncomfortable. So what do? They put the seatbelt under their arm.
Shoulder, yep.
They put their seatbelt behind their back, and that is it's 100% a crash nightmare. Those kids are going to be injured.
Yeah, I mean, you could take, I mean, just simply not being buckled in right in a car seat, you could take a very minor accident where everybody would have walked away by simply just not having the car seat, and it's a whole other story. I think I've seen news in Peoria or Glendale. There was recently some car seats where the kids were even installed in the car, and the whole car seat, I believe, was ejected from the vehicle intact with the child still in the car. If I remember that news right, it's bad news. I mean, you really need to.
Yeah, the child has to stay, the seat and the child have to stay in the vehicle. I mean, that's the purpose of wearing a seatbelt. If you're not using your seat properly, and I get it, every day I had a lady bring her car seat to me, and the child was in the car seat was installed correctly, but the buckles weren't correct. And I literally reached in, with the child buckled, I reached in and I pulled the child out.
Oh, man.
And the mom was flabbergasted. She could not believe. I said, in a crash, think what's going to happen. The seat would have been in. The seat would have stayed put, but the child would have come right out.
Flown right out.
And it's really rough to see every day. And, it's not bad parenting by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, the owner's manual for car seats are not written to be easy.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. So that's one of these things. That's why Interstate Batteries, here we are, right? 91st Avenue. We're in the neighborhood here. You should stop in. If you're riding around with a car seat, it's even better if the kid's with you. You can really make sure the kid is in properly. Stop in. The fire department's here. The kids can take a look in the fire truck and get their fire helmet and get a snack. There's the bounce house going on. And really, this is a community event. We're here to help you with that and make sure that your car is safe and also all the passengers and your precious cargo.
And I mean, if you're driving around and you got a car seat in the back, these guys, firemen, are showing up. It's not always a good day when they show up to things, and so they see what happens when it's not done right. And there's an 80 to 90% chance right now your car seat is installed wrong and you're not doing it right. So get on down here. Let's get that thing checked out. I mean, accidents happen. It's going to happen. It's why we got airbags. It's why we got seatbelts. I mean, if you look at the safety features that are on cars now, and they're good for nothing for the child seat if it's not installed right.
Tim, talk a little bit about the car seats have an expiration date. They time out after a certain period. Why is that, or what's the logic behind that? Is it advances in technology, or the materials change, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, it's actually advances in technology. The seat itself does not necessarily deteriorate over time, but things change over time. So it's kind of like getting your CPR card. CPR changes so frequently that they want you to get it done every 2 years. It's not like you're going to necessarily forget, but it's a matter that CPR changes every 2 years. Same thing goes with car seats. If you look at some of the car seats that are 8, 9, 10 years old, they're not in the same ballpark as what's happening today. Weight limits change, vehicles change, the latch system changes. So,
sure.
Yeah, really, that's what it's about.
And I mean, when I had car seats, I thought, well, the more expensive, the better. Is there some correlation between price and a good quality car seat? I mean, we had our lesser expensive one that was part of the stroller, and that thing worked great. I think it was the Graco, and you had the little removable base, and that thing was fantastic. And then I saw some other ones that were much more expensive, and I really wanted to have those aluminum frames and stuff like that. Is there a big difference between your $59 or $79 car seat and your $239 kind of maybe they're even trendy, so to speak, higher end car seat, if you will? Is there?
So there's one federal standard, and every car seat has to pass that federal standard. So if every car seat from the federal point of view is equally as safe. So what happens is car seats will say side impact tested. Well, there is no side impact test. So a company will create a side impact test. They will test it, and the car seat will pass that test. So
I bet they never create a test that they won't pass.
Amazingly. So every car we hand out to people that are in need of a car seat. We do have free car seats for low-income families. We hand out a car seat that costs us $35, and I feel 100% perfectly safe using that car seat. I've seen car seats that are $300 or $400 that have MP3 jacks. So I don't need my kid to have an MP3 jack. The best car seat is the one that works in your car, that works for your kid, that's going to be easy to use, and that is going to fit. Okay. That's the most important thing to look for.
So people are driving around today, and hopefully they're in the area over here, 91st Avenue in Butler, which is between Olive and Northern, and they think they don't have time to have their car seat checked. They're too busy. How long is it going to take to check that if they pull in here?
Yeah, about 5 minutes on average. If it turns out to be something really complicated, you've got triplets, we might be with you for a little bit, but about a 5 minutes.
So a 5-minute investment into having your car seat checked today. You can get get an Indian fry bread taco if you want, have your battery tested, do whatever while you've got an expert, a fireman, checking your car seat. That type of investment to protect your family is an obvious no-brainer, right?
Yeah, we agree.
Well, Tim, we really appreciate you coming out, and like I say, come on out, have the fire department check your child's seat, and also, I mean, the booster seat thing, I'm guilty of that.
Big time.
My kid is not, and he should be.
Hey, tell my daughter standing right here, what's the rules about riding in the front seat?
So we recommend 13 for riding in the front seat. So under the age of 13, there's crinkle zones inside the front. That airbag comes out at a real rapid pace. So we recommend 13 for
13
the front seat.
years old. My daughter Claire standing here is not liking that information. But, again, it's about keeping everybody safe.
Absolutely.
Well, we hope you can join us out here today, and if not, you can get a hold of us at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. We're going to have Dave Walworth on us talking about batteries, and whether you got a question in regards to batteries. The other cool thing that's going on out here today is that
well, you can go to the website. You can go to the bumpertobumperradio.com, and there's going to be a link to the Interstate Battery All-Store website and right on our home page. And you don't have to print this out, but there's all kinds of specials. We got a battery maintainer. Maybe you're a part-time visitor to the valley and you always come home to a dead battery. They've got some battery maintainers. They can fix the drill bit or the drill battery for your Makita or DeWalt. Put a cordless or a battery in your remotes for your cars. We've got specials. There's a coupon on there for 20% off anything in the store. Just bring in your smartphone, show that to the guys at the counter, and you're going to get some smoking deals out here today.
Yeah, and if there's those kind of couple kind of people out there, those who need a battery and those who what's the saying you use?
Either need a battery or you're gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
If it's been 2.5 years since you got a battery, it's just waiting to die on you. You're going to be in your tuxedo ready to go somewhere important, and your battery's going to be dead. So just come on down, just buy it in advance.
Do it on your terms, not when the battery decides, and that way you're not stuck in a parking lot at some shopping center buying a cut-rate battery from somebody that came out to jumpstart your car.
You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio out at Interstate All Battery Centers in Peoria. We'll be right back.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate Batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate Batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate Batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and today something different. We're out at Interstate Battery, All Battery Center in Peoria, and we've got fry bread, tacos. We've got fire department out here doing child safety seat checks, and if you heard the last segment, that 80 to 90% of child seats are done wrong. And it takes about 5 minutes to pop on in, have your child seat checked. I mean, you think of all the things you do for your kid, you can at least give 5 minutes out here.
It doesn't cost anything.
No.
Everything you want to do with the kids now, you got to spend a few bucks, come out here, get something to eat, learn a little bit about a battery if you want to, and make sure your car seat is safe. It's a few-minute investment and definitely well worth the time.
Well, the other thing, too, is that we're out here. If you go to bumper-to-bumperradio.com, you can click on our. There's a link there on the homepage. You can get a coupon for anything on sale in the store, 20% off everything in the store today.
Well, and people think, it's a battery. I can get batteries anywhere. But when we're sitting here, Dave, and I notice, I go to Walmart once in a while, Target, wherever it is, and need a battery. Here, you got to go find it. You got to park. I mean, you ever park at Walmart lately on a Saturday morning? Yeah. Nice parking lot out here. You go in, you can talk to somebody that's an expert. But we're not talking just about having your AAAs and your D batteries or maybe one for your car. It's that Milwaukee drill or that DeWalt that you're about ready to throw away because the battery's so expensive. Well, they can fix that here. They can put a battery in your remote control for your car. We've got David here, David Walworth, the owner and the distributor here in Peoria. Besides distributing batteries to auto repair shops, the great Interstate Battery brand, what else happens here at this store? I touched on a little bit of it, but it's more than just schlepping batteries.
Yeah, a few years ago, we decided that there was a lot more to batteries than car batteries. So we got into the smaller batteries, as we say. We call it our all battery effort. And we basically do everything from keyless entry batteries and watch batteries all the way up to the big stuff, golf cart, motorhome, diesel truck. So we expanded what we offered about 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And just recently, with all the cell phones coming out, we decided there were a lot more people were breaking their screens than needing batteries. So we started fixing cell phone screens also. So we're into that now.
A lot of neat little things. I saw somebody in here before. They pulled in with their little canoe or fishing boat, a trolling motor on the back. Looked like they went out to go have a fun day in the lake, and oops, got a couple of dead batteries. They were in and out of here in a few minutes with a couple of good batteries and off to their fishing trip. So if it's electronic and it takes a battery, you guys can fix it, replace it.
You got all kinds. I was walking through the warehouse back there. I couldn't believe what all they had. Now, you've been in the battery business 35 years. I mean, since you started in the battery business.
Second generation.
You have seen it change, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Right now, it's undergoing some big changes, too.
What's the biggest thing that you see going on?
Well, cars have so many more electrical loads on them now that the batteries used to be you throw a bunch of plates in a box, and it starts a motor, and that's all you needed. Now the car, you start the motor, and that's where the battery's starting. After that, you're running all kinds of accessories. They're trying to get to where the engine is barely running when you're at a light, and so there's all kinds of loads on it. So the battery is really cycling a lot now, and that's the big change is that batteries are having to cycle.
Well, the other thing, too, is that you may be driving around, and we test batteries in our shop, and we've got a battery tester, and a battery will start the car, but the tester, we test it, it says bad, and it's predicting, hey, this battery's bad or getting bad. And so I watch a customer, if it starts the car and you tell them it's bad, they're not going to buy it, a lot of times. And that's the mistake, because when you got a weak battery, it throws off the electrical system. You get an alternator that's overcharging, and these cars have, a dozen modules in it, little computers that are running together. And also when you have a weak battery, what happens is when you start the car, it takes the battery down, and you get a voltage drop in the system, and that computer loses a lot of that adaptive memory, so your car runs bad for the next 15 minutes until it relearns. So not having a good battery is not really an option anymore. not only is it going to leave you stranded if it dies, but at the same time, when it's still somewhat functional, it still can be doing damage. We fix cars all the time with batteries.
I see cars come in with the weirdest drivability problems, strange things happening, check engine lights on. The very first step in any diagnosis is a battery test.
First thing on our list.
That's where you've got to start. And we cure problems with batteries. You would never even thought about this 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well, I call people because at Tri-City Transmission, people come in and they think they're going to buy a transmission, and you call them up and you say, "Hey, we've got your car figured out." And they're like, "Oh, give me the bad news," you know. I mean, selling transmissions is like selling coffins, you know. Everyone gets one at some point, but no one wants one. And they're like, "All right, give me the news. You're going to ruin my day." Yeah, you know, you just need a battery. Seriously? Yeah, you just need a battery. And they're surprised by that, but the transmission's electronic. And if the battery's not good, it's going to cause issues. So it's something that you don't want to ignore, and I see more damage done from not replacing batteries.
Well, yeah, and we've talked about it all the time, Dave. You want to replace the battery on your terms. You don't want to be on the side of the highway with some mobile battery guy trying to get you with a battery. You know, Murphy works very hard. You know, Murphy's Law. Hey, you're in your tuxedo. You're going to church. You're going to the wedding. You got to run out and pick the kids up from soccer practice, or you're in between games or something like that. That's when you're going to get the dead battery. So if you know you're going to need one, let's just get. I'm not saying just go willy-nilly buy a battery, but we can help, and the guys here at Interstate Battery can help you understand the symptoms or when you think you might need a battery. They can do the test and take a look at it. But quite honestly, in Arizona, I don't know what the interstate statistics are, but Arizona's brutal on batteries. They don't last like they might in the Midwest, and we're coming up here on hot season. That's when we really see the battery business tick up, and we see all the failures. That's when the tow trucks are running.
About 39 months.
About 39 months is the average. So,
yep.
Well, 602-277-5827. We're still going to be taking your calls today. So if you have a battery question, electrical system question, or any other problem with your car and you want to get a hold of us, you can still do that at 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR.
Come out, get your car seat checked. At the same time, grab some fry bread. And you know what? If you're 40 and you still want to go on the bounce house, we will let you. We won't tell. We won't take pictures. Anyway, hope you can join us. 602-277-5827.
Arizona, an amazing state for outdoor recreation and exploration. Full of mountains, lakes, streams, forests, and of course, our beautiful deserts. Hunting, fishing, camping. If it's about the outdoors, we've got it covered. KTAR invites you to Get Outdoors with Mike Russell today at noon. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and on every device with the KTAR app.
Look at this, Matt. Interstate Batteries is throwing a party and offering 20% off everything in the store.
Cool, Dave. They have batteries for pretty much everything. Of course, cars, RVs, boats, and motorcycles, but also mobile phones, medical devices, and cordless tools.
I wonder if they have a battery for my Star Wars lightsaber.
Join Bumper to Bumper Radio on Saturday, February 13th from 10 till 2 at Interstate Batteries All Battery Center in Peoria. Everything in the store is 20% off with coupon. Go to bumpertobumperradio.com for coupon and details.
Bees International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
KTAR News, on air, 92.3 FM, online at KTAR.com, and on every device with the KTAR app. Arizona's breaking news and traffic, now.
KTAR News Time, 11:30. I'm Mike Sackley. A new obstacle in the effort to broker a ceasefire in Syria.
John Kerry has accused Russia of repeated aggression, most recently in Syria, but also in their invasion of Ukraine. At a security conference in Munich on Saturday, the Secretary of State accused Russia of focusing its airstrikes in Syria against what he called legitimate opposition groups instead of ISIS and al-Qaeda.
We think it is critical that Russia's targeting change.
Russia's continued bombing of the Assad regime's enemies has allowed the Syrian army to make gains in recent days around Aleppo, Syria's biggest city. Alex Marquardt, ABC News, London.
The U.S. Geological Survey reports a 5.1 magnitude earthquake in northwest Oklahoma that was reportedly felt across Kansas, Missouri, New Mexico, Nebraska, Texas, Arkansas, and Iowa. Fairview Police and the Major County Sheriff's Office say there are no reports of injury or damage as a result of the quake that struck today. Closer to home, a Phoenix man accused in the death of his girlfriend's young daughter has been sentenced to 25 years in prison. Larry Works III was sentenced Friday after previously pleading guilty to second-degree murder. The 21-year-old Works was originally arrested on suspicion of first-degree murder and child abuse after the January 20th, 2014 death of the toddler. Now let's get a check on traffic in the KTAR Traffic Center. Here's Adrian Viella.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and I come bearing good news. The freeways are looking phenomenal thus far. We can start on the 51 southbound, 101 to Greenway. Traffic moving at a moderate pace there, and from 32nd Street to Coulter, that's delay-free as well. I-17 southbound from Greenway to Northern, not seeing any problems on the cameras, and a moderate flow from Camelback to the I-10. 60 westbound looking good from Higley to Gilbert, light to moderate traffic there, and from Alma School to the 101, again, light to moderate traffic. Overall, just a good-looking drive on the freeways, Mike. Adrian Viella, KTAR News.
Sounds good, Adrian. Appreciate it. Sunny skies today with a high of 87 degrees, near record high today. Clear tonight, low 52. Valentine's Day tomorrow, sunny with a high of 86 right now in Litchfield Park. 71 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. Matt and Dave, KTAR's Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio, live at the Interstate Batteries in Peoria. They're back with you next. I'm Mike Sackley, KTAR News.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun, and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Hi, I'm Brandon Harris.
And I'm Greg McLean. We created Premier Fitness Systems, a completely unique training and golf performance center right here in Scottsdale.
Greg and I have a passion for golf performance training. Our method utilizes a unique approach of using non-traditional training methods geared to reprogram the body. Our program focuses on opening up the chest and hips, getting the glutes to fire, and maintaining spine angle for better golf.
We work with a number of golfers on the Web.com and Gateway Tours, as well as quite a few golf pros here in the Valley who've had great success with our program.
At Premier Fitness Systems, reprogramming a golfer's biomechanics to ensure optimal performance while minimizing injuries is our specialty.
We're so confident that we can help you in your game. We're offering a free TPI golf screening and 2 golf performance training sessions to introduce you to our system.
Check out our client testimonials and our offer at PremierFitnessSystems.com or call 480-245-7082 to schedule an appointment.
Improve your game, improve your life. Premier Fitness Systems.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we've been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at tricitytransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Up and puts this Indian fry bread deal in front of me, and I don't know if that's a tease or what that is. So we are Bumper to Bumper Radio. I'm Matt Allen along with Dave Riccio. The cast of characters here from the Interstate Batteries. We're at the Interstate Batteries All-Store at 91st Avenue in Butler, which is between Northern and Olive. Talking about your car today, as always. So if you have any questions or need help with your car, we are about ready to start taking some phone calls. We've already got Jose, Adam, and I believe James up. And if you need to want to get involved in the show, have a battery question, or any car question for that matter, you can get a hold of us by dialing 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And not only are we here talking about batteries today, but they're having some festivities. We've got the food truck I mentioned. We've got the Interstate Batteries NASCAR car out here on display. Peoria Fire Department's got one of their medic units, truck 194, sitting here. A bunch of kids standing around it. I know one of my kids stubbed their toe, and she got to go to the fireman and ask for a Band-Aid, and they hooked her up. So, but most importantly today too, we've got the fire department here checking your car seats. If you are riding around in your car and you've got a car seat or even a booster seat for that matter, chances are, we had the gentleman that checks them for the Peoria Fire Department, he is here today. He's got his little notebook. 3,000 car seats he's inspected, and only 38 of them are installed properly. So 5-minute investment in your time. Stop by, get something to eat. If you need a battery for anything that you've got that's electronic, these guys can take care of it here. Dave, anything else, or should we just get right to these calls?
You're gonna keep them in shoes. You're gonna put braces on them. You can do all these things. We're just talking about 5 minutes. There's an 80 to 90% chance that car seat is not set up the way it should be set up.
Unless, of course, you don't want to keep them in shoes, or if you don't want to have to worry about buying braces, just leave the car seat alone, because an accident's going to happen someday, and you maybe won't have to, unfortunately, worry about braces if you're not doing it right.
And if you want to talk about batteries, we can talk about batteries or anything related to your car at 602-277-5827. We're going to go with this segment, Jose with the Mitsubishi in Phoenix. How can we help you, Jose? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, yes. Okay, so I have on my transmission, the car, I put it in park, and it does like a big kick. And when I put it in reverse, it doesn't. It goes in good.
Is this a manual transmission or an automatic transmission, Jose?
It's an automatic transmission.
Okay.
Now you said when you put it in park. Did you mean when you took it out of park there was a big kick?
No. When I put it in drive, it'll kick, and then it'll just. It drives fine, but just as soon as I put it in drive, it just does a big kick.
Okay. One of the first things that comes to mind for me is motor mounts. That's one of the first things that we check when we're looking at your transmission. Your engine and transmission are mounted on rubber, and that's what absorbs a lot of the jolt and vibration out of the engine. That rubber over the years will deteriorate, so when you pull the car in a gear, if you could see under the hood, the engine is actually rotating. Engine transmission rotate a little bit, and it's going to hit up against those mounts. And you may have one bad mount where it's only happening on one side and not on the other, but otherwise the car drives and works just fine. So thanks for the call, Jose. I would have those motor mounts checked. 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. Let's get out to Queen Creek. Adam with a Nissan Armada. How can we help you, Adam? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I've got an electrical problem. I'm not sure what's happening, but if my wife doesn't drive her car for about 3 or 4 days, then we come back, the battery's dead. And the cigarette lighter has blown the fuse, and every time I replace it, the fuse blows. So I'm assuming there's a short, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're putting you're putting the fuse in and it instantly blows, is that what you're saying?
No, it'll hold for about a week, but then the cigarette
fuse
lighter won't work again, and I'll change the fuse, and it will work.
Okay. So it takes about a week for the fuse to blow. I'd be looking at your car chargers, anything that you're using to plug into the cigarette lighter for sure. I don't know if you smoke and you use that lighter, sometimes when they've been used too much, they start to corrode, and that can cause problems there. But after 3 or 4 days of sitting,
use it.
It still blows even if you don't use it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's going to be some other accessories that are going to be on that circuit. And Matt, like you always talk about, we just need the wiring diagram to look and see what's there to know where to go start looking. So the cigarette lighter may be the same fuse as the dome lamp. I don't know for sure. I'm just throwing that out there as a suggestion. But so there's going to be something on that circuit that's causing that fuse to pop.
Yeah.
Did you say you were having a battery issue where the battery's going weak?
Yes, if we don't drive the car, if it sits for about 3 days, we go to start it again, the battery's really weak, and sometimes it won't even start at all.
Really?
Hey, David, have you ever heard that when people come to your all-battery center?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hey.
And more, just because of all the key-off drains that cars have on them now. And what situation you can get into is a battery that is chronically discharged. And by that I mean it's never really fully charged. Mm-hmm. But it's enough to start the car, so you don't really think much about it. You let it sit a few more days, and it won't start the car. So a lot of times what you have is you have a battery that's partially charged, and you don't even think about it because it's still starting the car, but a couple more days of key-off drain, and it's done. So.
Yeah, well, thanks for the call, Adam, because that's a good question. I mean, you could simply just have a battery problem. So I think the first step that we would do if that comes into a shop, or if you were to have that battery into one of the Interstate stores, which, by the way, you're in Queen Creek. There is an Interstate battery store on the east side as well. But we're going to start off by making sure that battery has a full and proper charge, and then we're going to do a test of the battery. And we have to know that we have a good battery. You may have a bad battery, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually the problem with the car either. And then, like you said, Dave, I've talked about a roadmap. If we've got a draw in the system, or we need to find out why that fuse is blowing, we've got to know where we're going. And the only way to know is to have a map, or in the automotive world, have a wiring diagram. We're going to trace where that electricity goes, or where it should be going, and then just have to systematically work our way through that. So
in Adam's situation, his draw may very well be on that circuit with the cigarette lighter. That may be where the juice is going. So going to want to get that checked. Hey, Brita, we got James 07 Denali on the line.
Yep, we've got him.
All right. Hey, James, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you today?
Come up to anytime pretty much apply the brakes. It dies real soft. Like you wouldn't even know that it died. I mean, the truck runs great like that. Checks for vacuum leaks, all that good stuff with ether, nothing. Plugs and wires are new. No check engine light.
Okay, wait, let's back up here a little bit. I'm not quite sure I first heard the question. So you're driving the car and you come to a complete stop, and with the brakes applied, and the truck stalls while you're coming to that stop. Is that correct?
Correct, and then it's a hard restart. You have to basically treat it like it's an old carbureted engine in order to restart it.
Okay. What if you are sitting in the parking lot and the car is idling and you simply apply the brakes? What happens then? Nothing. Okay. So I don't think we have a brake booster or vacuum leak problem. I mean, that's what he was checking with ether, which you want to be careful. That's really highly flammable to be spraying around. So I don't, Dave, I don't think it sounds like a vacuum leak. I mean, a brake related issue, because it's going to be the same if you're sitting still and apply the brakes.
Is it if you come up to a stop 10 times? 10 times you come up to a stop. How many times out of 10 does it happen?
1.
1 out of 10.
It's fairly intermittent. So. Is there? Do you ever have any check engine light illuminated, or any other warning lights or symbols on the dash? Okay.
I have ethos, and I have a little snap-on scanner, and neither one of them pop up anything.
Okay.
James, I just had one of these in my shop, James. It kicked our butt for about 2 weeks, and I mean we were trying everything, and it ended up being a bad connection at one of the coils, and it was just the harness was intact, and we tug on those wires to make sure they're good.
Okay.
But it was just the copper inside the wire
or something like that.
Yeah, it was bad, and that was the problem. But it wasn't. You would drive it would die for no rhyme or reason, and there was no codes and nothing to go off of. And so we kind of went with some of the easy stuff first, some of the sensors that we tap on them and tug on them.
Yeah, the more violent you break, the more likely you are to die.
Okay, so maybe it's got something to do with the momentum of the vehicle. I mean, James, this is a great call, and thanks for calling in, by the way. And we just have to, or you're going to have to go through a systematic approach. And, there's things like they call wiggle tests.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate test. So you want to have that car running and go around and wiggle some of these sensors and wires. And think about what's happening under the hood. Ask yourself, when I'm applying the brakes, really, and I'm coming to a more aggressive stop, what's happening under the hood? Is the battery moving? Maybe we have a connection problem. Is there an air boot? I believe on that one, that system still uses a mass airflow sensor. What is happening under the hood? And then otherwise, we've just got to get it to a shop where you can duplicate the problem. He's got some scan tools. It's not setting codes, but we've just got to first see if we can get it to happen. What gets me is it's a hard start afterwards, which throws another little.
Well, and this is the world we live in auto repair business, and people think, well, you just plug into it and it tells you what's wrong. And what he's saying is I'm plugging into it and it's not telling me nothing. We can, a lot of times we're looking for codes. That's helpful if there's a code there to tell us, hey, we think we got a problem over here with a sensor. We can go start looking there. But if you don't get a code, well, now you got to go look at the numbers from that sensor and see what they are. And sometimes just looking at the numbers, you can't see nothing. So now you got to hook it up to a scope, and you got to scope out that sensor, and you're looking for irregularities. But there's a ton of things that can make that car die.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of questions you have to ask. And speaking about people who need to ask questions, we've got Ray in Avondale with an 11 Toyota Benza transmission question.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's take a break, and we'll come back. We'll get him, and you're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Look at this, Matt. Interstate Batteries is throwing a party and offering 20% off everything in the store.
Cool, Dave. They have batteries for pretty much everything. Of course, cars, RVs, boats, and motorcycles, but also mobile phones, medical devices, and cordless tools.
I wonder if they have a battery for my Star Wars lightsaber.
Join Bumper to Bumper Radio on Saturday, February 13th from 10 till 2 at Interstate Batteries All Battery Center in Peoria. Everything in the store is 20% off with coupon. Go to bumpertobumperradio.com for coupon and details.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen. And today we are out at Interstate All Battery in Peoria. It's 91st Avenue, halfway between Northern and Olive. And Matt, I'm not sure what's more popular, the bumper-to-bumper / Well, Interstate's really all over the car. We got a little piece of real estate on there that says Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, the NASCAR cars out here on display.
That's pretty cool. That's popular. Obviously, the White Eyes Fry Bread food truck is here. And, you know, I was watching Michael Henry over there. I think he's on his fifth, and he's pretending. He kind of shuffles over there so no one can see him.
Yeah, the guy, he goes up, oh, yeah, this is for my wife, or this is for Matt and Dave.
Yeah.
He's shoveling food down his throat over there. Michael's going to need to get on the bounce house and try and burn some of those calories. And I know my kids are out here enjoying the festivities, hanging out on the fire truck and wearing them out on the bounce house. So if you're in the neighborhood, if you're over here in Peoria, you can pop in, you can get your car seat tested, and make sure it's installed right. You learn a little bit about the proper use of that and how your kids should be sitting in the car. I know I learned something about that today. And you know, come in here and meet your neighbors, the people in the community that run the battery store here. And we're not just talking about batteries for your car. We're talking about batteries for your drill, batteries for your phone, fixing that broken glass on the front of your iPhone or your Android phone or whatever it is. They take care of all of that here.
And, you know, the show's going to be done here in a bit, but this is going on till 2 o'clock, I believe. And if you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, there's a link on there about today's event, and there's a coupon on there for 20% off anything in the store. So, you know, I don't know, David, you were kind of thinking that it would be a good...
Well, I was thinking tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's pajamagrams, there's roses, there's chocolate. But what could be more romantic than getting your special someone a battery?
Well, it depends. It just depends. But, you know, I'm going to change the subject a little bit here. And I know there's some guys that would like to have, you know, I love these battery pack deals. You hear me talk about them on the show. And they've got these things on special, $109 I think it is. This little battery pack deal is amazing. It'll jumpstart a car. It'll power your cell phone. It will charge your laptop battery. It'll fit in your briefcase. I think they still allow them on the airplanes. I know when I travel, just when I fly, I kill my phone going to a convention.
It's got the nice carrying case, you know, and you can throw some lace in there for the Valentine's Day.
Put a little garter belt in there, or use it to recharge your other toys. You never know.
We got to get to Ray with the Toyota. I think he's got a transmission question. How can we help you, Ray? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking the call.
You bet.
So I got a 5-year-old car, a little over 50,000 miles on it, and I want to take care of it, so I want to get the transmission flushed or serviced, whatever you do. So I did go to my bumper-to-bumper shop that I do have a relationship with, and they told me that they cannot do it. They did not have the equipment to do it. They recommended, 1, take it to the dealer, or 2, they gave me a card of a guy they recommended. So I did call the dealer. They want like $400. Seems a little high. I called the other guy, and he asked me 2 questions. 1, he says, look in your owner's manual and see what it says it's time to service the transmission, and then we'll cut that in half, and we'll do it. Or 2, he asked me, would you want it serviced or do you want it flushed? So I'm not sure what to do. If I was to bring my car to Tri-City Transmissions, what would I expect?
Well, hold on. First, I want to know one thing. And you don't have to tell us on the air, but if you would send Dave and I an email, and you can do that from bumpertobumperradio.com, I'd be curious on what bumper-to-bumper shop you're using, because Dave and I might have to go have a talk with them about their abilities and what they probably could do to service that transmission. I have my own set of ideas, and I think they're pretty much in line with yours, Dave, so go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, you talk to 20 different technicians about transmission service, you're going to get 19 different answers, and only 3 of them is right. So, I mean, that's not very good odds. As far as the Toyota Owner's Manual, as far as service, we're talking about vehicles not that old. They may not even recommend it in that manual, and maybe if they do, it's at 100,000 miles.
Well, you're right. It does not. It goes up to 120,000 miles, and it never says anything about the transmission.
And that's that world standard fluid probably in that.
Yeah, and I think that's where Toyota's wrong, because we're seeing these things with worn out, tired out valve bodies. I mean, sometimes these transmissions fail before 80,000 miles, before the first service was even supposed to happen. So we look at it just based off of experience, and we say, I guess they don't want you to service them, but I don't even think they take a transmission apart down to the dealership. They don't know what they're looking at as far as on the internal side of things. So I see that, it's crazy that all of a sudden you don't have to maintain, and I just think it's a bunch of marketing that as we get this trouble-free transmission that uses the same technology as transmissions for the last 20 years.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for the call, because we always say, Dave, there's a difference between the marketing department and the reality department when it comes to the maintenance of these cars. I don't know that we'd ever actually answer his question. What we would do at my shop at Virginia Auto Service, we would probably do a simple drain and fill on that car, drain and fill of the transmission. We're going to cut the mileage interval in half. Do it at 50,000. I think that's kind of what you're recommending as well, too, Dave. Whether or not we do a flush, at that point, it's probably a little premature.
Well, it's based on what the fluid looks like. Just look at it. If it looks pretty darn good, well, maybe we don't need to go to all that extra expense to do that. And so, but we would look at it. I want somebody to look at it. I don't want somebody not to look at it. And there's not a dipstick on this late model Toyota stuff, so no one can really see it unless they go up underneath.
Yeah, so I don't want them to make their decision based off the age or the mileage. I like to deal in fact.
Yeah, deal in fact, and if that fluid looks terrible, and that's the way we do it. So if it's got a pan on it and a filter, we'll do a traditional pan-off service, between 30 and 50,000 miles. And if the fluid looks like it's oxidizing quicker, and some do. Some vehicles just seem like they don't have enough transmission cooler on them. We'll go ahead and do a complete fluid exchange. And you're going to be somewhere, between $200 and $300 is pretty typical for most late model vehicles. So that's not unusual.
Yeah, and it depends on what you're getting. I mean, that Toyota transmission fluid is expensive. So if they're going to do a flush, they want to flush all the fluid, where you're going to have a potentially a higher price. So.
Yeah, it's a man. I answer that question. I don't know how many times every week. It's like I feel like a broken record, but it's definitely an FAQ at the shop, and no one knows what to do. And you don't want your transmission to go out because they're expensive. So you don't want that. So you do want to take care of it, but then people say, oh, don't do it. Or your owner's manual says don't do it, and that's that's the factory. I mean, they would know, right?
Well, it's the lifetime fluid, right? So what do you change the life? Sometimes the fluid or the transmission fails before the life of the fluid is supposed to be over. So then what? Now you change the fluid, I guess, when you put the new transmission in. It sometimes doesn't make sense. So
believe me, Toyota not only sells new cars, they also sell transmissions to replace the transmission that went bad. So makes you wonder. A little bit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're going to be out here till 2 o'clock. At least a food truck will be. Fry bread, and the NASCAR will be over there. And so we hope you can still stop by. Print the coupon off.
You don't even have to print it. You can bring it and show it to them right on your smartphone. Just that you find it at the bumper-to-bumper-radio.com. And whenever, if it's not today, any other day, you have some kind of device that needs a battery or it's electronic, don't forget the guys at Interstate Battery, 91st Avenue in Butler.
Well, thanks to the Peoria Fire Department for the child safety seat check. Thanks, Dave Walworth, for throwing the party out here. Billy Kahn for bringing out the NASCAR, and Wide Eyes for providing the fry bread that Michael Henry can't seem to resist. See you next week.